So Gotham Knights is the most recent DC show, I guess. It's going to be starting in 2023. It was announced that it was going to series there last month in May. And the trailer for it came out last night, and already it's causing quite a lot of discord, a lot of talk about it. So I thought I'd make a video talking about it because, yeah, a lot of what people are saying, they're not lying. It is a bad trailer. And I'm already a little biased because I was a fan of Batwoman, and it's a pretty well-known kind of secret at this point that Batwoman was more or less cancelled, in part due to Gotham Knights, because, you know, they were both going to be running on the CW. Both shows would have taken place in Gotham. Both shows would have taken place with sort of legacy characters from the Bat mythos. There's also writers from Batwoman working on Gotham Knights. They left to work on Gotham Knights before Batwoman got even officially cancelled. So I think it's pretty clear that even if it wasn't majorly because of Gotham Knights, Batwoman was cancelled with at least partly due to Gotham Knights. So that already means that I'm going into this a little bit more angry than I would be if I had absolutely no relation to the show beforehand. But I was trying to go into it with an open mind. I was trying to just go into this trailer and be like, okay, it's a new DC show. It's CW. I'm a fan of the Arrowverse. You know, I might like it. You know, I might really like this. But this is the worst trailer I've seen for any of the DC shows that have been on the CW. The very first Batwoman trailer was also not very good, but at least that trailer was kind of like, honestly, it didn't feel like that trailer was as bland and as mediocre as this is. At least the Batwoman trailer, when the Batwoman trailer was bad, it felt like it was bad in sort of a fun way. This feels just bad. Like, this, I've seen people say this just looks like usual CW stuff. No, I disagree. I think that this looks way worse than what we usually get from the CW. I think that this is just, it already looks like a really mediocre and bland show. It also feels like a superhero show or a comic book show we would have gotten like 10 years ago. A show that's kind of embarrassed to be a comic book show. A show that feels embarrassed to show superhero costumes. Like, we're not at that point anymore. Like, since Smallville ended, we have been in an era where we can expect comic book suits to be pretty prevalent in a comic book show. This is kind of the first time since then that there's just no sign of that sort of thing, and the comic book suits we are getting look like they're just like heavy armor and stuff like that. It isn't a good trailer, and like, even without getting into how it's not comic accurate, how it's not really, you know, a load of these things related to comics, it's just not a well-made trailer. The editing on it is terrible, the audio on it is terrible, the voiceovers we get throughout feel very kind of distant to what the trailer is trying to imply. They don't feel like they match the tone of what is happening in the trailer, in the scenes. I've seen people compare it to, like, if you take the characters from Riverdale and put them in Gotham, this is what you get. And Riverdale's better than this, by the way. Like, I've watched most of Riverdale. I'm not caught up on the current season, but I've seen most of Riverdale. And, like, while Riverdale gets bad, I feel like Riverdale knows what it is. I feel like it like, you know, they, after like season 1 of Riverdale, they kind of leaned into what they know they are. They just kind of have fun with it. This just doesn't feel like they're having fun with it. And I know it's only a trailer, you know, it's a 3-minute trailer. You can't really get a feel for a whole show from a 3-minute trailer. But this trailer is supposed to interest us. It's supposed to make us want to watch this show. And it's just done the opposite. It's made me not want to watch the show. And from what I'm seeing on Twitter and stuff like that, it feels like it's the same for a lot of people, where this trailer has just kind of shown them away. Like, they might have already been on the fence about watching the show or not, and this has kind of pushed them way off of it. But going back to the Riverdale argument, I think that, honestly, you take like Archie Andrews, you take Betty, Veronica, Jughead, you put them in this show, and the show will be 10 times better. I would want to watch it much more than whatever the hell this is. Because the characters that we're being presented with, they already seem very boring. Like Bruce's son, you know, the children of some of the villains. It doesn't really feel like something that I personally want to see. And going back to the Batwoman thing for a sec, it also doesn't feel like there's a reason why this needs to exist, but Batwoman can't exist. Like, obviously, yes, they're both set in Gotham and all that, but the story that we're being shown here about, like, a murder mystery about who killed Batman, that feels like a storyline that could easily be done with the Batwoman characters, like the characters from that show. I really don't see why they couldn't have just taken the characters that they're doing in this show and put them in Batwoman, along with the Batwoman characters, and then just do this story there. Like, I don't see the reason why this show needs to exist. And I'm really kind of hoping this is one of those examples of a show really making sure that this trailer gives nothing away, and that they actually have some really cool secrets up their sleeves for the pilot or for the second episode or whatever, that really reveal what this show is. Because some shows recently have done that, where like their trailers don't actually relay what the show is at all, because they're trying to really hide what the show actually is about and what the show actually is. But I don't trust the people behind this show to do that. So I'm not gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here and be like, oh well, they're hiding something. We're gonna get so much more from this. I don't think that's the case at all. I think what we're seeing is what we're gonna get, and that is quite disappointing. Like it really does feel like a comic book show in name only, or a superhero show in name only. It's just really uninteresting. Just everything they're presenting us with just looks so bland. One of the things I was actually excited about for this was Misha Collins as Harvey Dent. Obviously he's not Two-Face yet, but I thought that just Misha Collins in general from Supernatural, I always thought he was kind of cool. And he was the one person I think that was cast in this show that I knew from name only. And so when that was announced, I was like, okay, well, I want to watch just to see what his character's like. And Harvey Dent's a really cool character. He's one of my favorite Batman villains. So I was kind of excited to go into this and be like, alright, there's an actor I like playing a character that I like. A comic book character I like, nonetheless. That's already enough to kind of get me a little bit interested in this. But even he was kind of bland and uninteresting in this, I thought. He had some of the voiceovers, and I thought the voiceovers that he was doing just felt very uninspired. They didn't feel like he really cared about the role he was playing. Just already, I feel like this, I'm not going to say that, this is going to be a one and done show, because it's the CW, and before there's been shows where people have been like, oh, this is absolutely going to get cancelled after one season, and it didn't. Like Batwoman, for example, that was a show everyone was like, oh, I can't wait to see you guys here in a year when it's cancelled, after the season 1 trailer came out, when the show ran for 3 seasons. But then again, the whole thing with the CW has changed now, where they're cancelling things that they never would have cancelled before, so it's totally possible that this show will get cancelled. Like, all of this negative online stuff the show is getting already might easily be enough to do more damage to the show than the actual ratings will, because like the CW is completely changed now on what they care about and what they'll renew and what they won't renew. This online feedback for it could easily be damaging it in a way that, like with the old CW shows, this never would have happened with. So that is true, but I don't know, like you look at the first Arrow trailer, you look at the first Flash trailer, you even look at the first, like the Supergirl trailer I also thought wasn't the best, but I do like Supergirl the show. But even if you look at the first Supergirl trailer, they are all so much more interesting, and they all have so much more color and feel and vibrancy, and just all around they feel like they're a show that you would at least want to see what it's about. You would at least want to watch the first episode and see if you're into this. Gotham Knights doesn't give that vibe at all. Like it seems so washed out. It seems just so uninteresting in so many ways, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm probably going to watch the first couple of episodes just to see what it's really like, because it's a DC show, I can't help myself. A new DC show comes out, I have to watch it. Like, honestly, I've been hate watching Titans for 3 seasons now, even though I've, have so many problems with that show. But, I don't know. Does anybody actually like it? Like, let me know if you enjoyed the trailer, because I would genuinely like to hear your thoughts on it. Like, I don't mean to hate on things other people like. Like, if you really did enjoy the trailer, you're looking forward for the show and all that sort of stuff, I genuinely do want to hear your opinion on it. But how did you feel about the trailer? Did you like it? Did you hate it? If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and all of that. Hoping to hit 1K subscribers this year, which would be absolutely amazing. So any subscribers at all really do help out. And thank you very much for watching.